Hi. I was thinking about the times when I used to go for job interviews early on in my career, interview after interview, and all the mistakes that I made along the way. So I thought that I would share with you just 3 tips that might help you when you're interviewing for a compliance role. My 3rd tip is my favorite, so make sure you stay with me. Tip number 1. Compliance does not operate in a vacuum. It operates within a business. So show that you understand the business, that you have some valuable business acumen skills. And by that I mean, look at the short-term, medium-term, long-term strategy of the organization that you can access. And show that you can see how compliance fits into their long-term strategy and how their needs are likely to evolve in respect of their compliance obligations. This matters whether your role is junior, middle management, senior, because at the end of the day, everybody wants to work with someone who understands their business and the landscape that they operate in. So if the business has a long-term strategy to expand internationally, for example, and you're an analyst in the AML space, what is that going to mean in terms of the risks that are introduced to the business? Think about things like that and make sure that you are able to talk to them confidently and knowledgeably to show that you understand how compliance adds value to the business and your role in that as well. Tip number 2. Remember, compliance is a discipline in and of itself, but that discipline falls within the overall risk management framework of an organization. So be sure to be able to understand and articulate how compliance risks and compliance risk management works with overall risk management, and how compliance in your role will feed into and support operational risk management, internal audit, and other control functions to make sure that the environment is risk mitigated and controls are optimized. You don't have to be a one-man band, and you need to show that you have the ability to work with and collaborate with other risk management functions. Tip number 3, and like I said, my favorite, so thank you for staying with me. Tip number 3 is look into the past of the organization that you're looking into. And I don't mean hire a private investigator by any stretch of the imagination, but look at if they've had any compliance breaches, regulatory sanctions, and things like that. Not so that you can throw it in their face and say, well, you have a history of non-compliance, but simply so that you can talk to some of the challenges that you know that they have experienced specifically within that organization, preferably in the not too distant past, and be able to say that these are the solutions that you can bring to the table. This is how you think you can make a contribution to strengthening the control environment. And this is how you have done it in your current role to address certain issue. And these are solutions that you have experience in implementing. You are talking to a problem or a challenge that the business is experiencing today or has in the recent past, and coming to the table with solutions and knowledge around how you can add value to that organization by being on the team. So remember, you have what it takes to be able to be great in the role. Show them your track record and make sure that that track record speaks specifically to the challenges that they may be currently experiencing. And if they don't necessarily have an history of non-compliance within that specific organization, look for industry issues that could potentially impact them and speak to how you can contribute to making sure that what's happening over there at their competitor is not going to happen here in this organization. Well, there you have it. Those are my tips on how you can prepare for an interview for a compliance role. I hope you found them useful and that you apply it a little bit. I think you'll have a lot more success. But don't forget, you still need to know how to answer the age-old questions as well. Tell us about yourself and what are your greatest strengths. So make sure to work on those as well. But all together, being able to talk to both of those questions with confidence and knowledge is going to get you very far. Let me know what you think of the tips in the comments. Click like, click share, and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks.